Hello, video people. Well, I'm making the video for Cynthia, really, because she. I promised her if she made one, I'd make one. So this is my video. Div's over there.
Hello.
She doesn't want to be in the video.
Not wearing makeup.
So neither am I. This is a 2-month tea update for anybody that has not seen me or heard me since Christmas. It's been 2 months. Wednesday. And I would have updated sooner, but I was unfortunately in the hospital due to a vagal seizure issue. That's why I have my heating pad on. Not feeling 100%, but feeling a lot better than I was. Little chin hairs now, and little mustache hairs now. My voice has dropped, from what I'm told. I don't notice it as much as everybody else does. So Wednesday, I woke up and I gave myself my injection, and everything was running normally until it wasn't, and I had sort of an anxiety moment and ended up passing out and having a seizure, which was pretty scary and scared Viv pretty bad. But the interesting thing about the whole event was that the paramedics and the hospital staff all knew that I was trans because we talked about the reason that I was there and how it all started and the fact that I had been taking my testosterone injection that morning, and they all were really good about pronouns and asking me about my name and what name I preferred to be called. I need the charger also. Sorry. So they were really good about using the right pronouns. Even when I gave them my birth name and gave them all my information, they were still really good about referring to me as he and as Austin, which was great. I was really impressed by the fact that they were so attentive, really, and that they were just so great about that. It was sort of surprising, really. There are a lot of horror stories on forums, on people's web pages, on YouTube sites, on you sort of hear it all over the place that there are people getting mistreated by medical staff, by doctors, by nurses, by whomever. So just to experience that firsthand and was a little terrifying because I wasn't sure how it was going to go or what they were going to do, and they were really great about it, and I was really happy with my experience with them. I wouldn't do it again. I'm going to try really hard not to do it again. But if I had to have an experience, such a terrifying experience, it was definitely a positive one, I guess is the best way to say that. And I realized that I was talking to Viv about this the other night, is that when it comes to all my transition and all my trans stuff, I've been really lucky. And I recognize that I'm very lucky in that I've talked to a lot of trans guys who have been homeless, and they're doing much better now, but they spent a period of time living out of their car. I spoke to a guy recently who was post-op and living out of his car immediately, being post-op and having to deal with the weather up here, which has been kind of crazy, and he was living in his car all through the snowstorms, and so that was pretty terrifying. Not even knowing this person, like I just, I couldn't help but think how awful that is, and how terrifying that would be if it were me, and so it's pretty eye-opening to learn other guys' stories and to hear what other guys are going through, and to know that everything that I've been through is pretty good. I've been pretty lucky in finding my doctor and my therapist and being able to go on hormones and have it covered by my insurance. My parents have been great. I didn't have to worry about being thrown out. I didn't have to worry about being poor. I didn't have to worry about losing my job. My bosses have been fantastic. I work with kids and families that I work with have been amazing, and so it's just been a really positive experience that I couldn't have dreamed of it going any better than it has. So that's been a pretty cool process for me, I guess, is knowing um, knowing that I am so lucky, and knowing that I have such a good um, knowing I have such a great support system, and my friends have been great. Yes, Maddie, you are a very good friend also. I want to put that out there. That was one of my Facebook comments. Yes, Maddie, you're a very good friend. I love you to death. We're cool. But my support system has been great. I mean, my school's been great. My professors have been really cool, which comes with, I think, being in such an odd major, or being in the deaf studies program, that you're around some definitely interesting individuals, and some very eclectic people. I have so many things that I can talk about and want to talk about, and I would love, to answer questions anybody has about my transition. Anybody that's curious about things, I will answer to the best of my ability. Maybe we'll do a video about do's and don'ts, things you can and can't ask trans people in general, things you can ask me because we know each other versus things you shouldn't ask anybody ever. And I'll be making more, I hope. I feel kind of silly talking to a camera. That's why Viv's sitting behind it, so that I can talk to her too. I don't feel so silly. But yeah, like this is sort of an open forum. I'm just sort of going to try to make these updates for anybody that wants to know what's going on in my life, wants to know how my transition's going, wants to know how I look, how I sound, how fat I got, anything like that. And yes, I have gotten rounder, in case anybody's curious.
Round is a shape.
Round is a shape. Round is a fun shape. So yeah, that's the end of my video.
Bye.
Bye.